Hey, what's going on, RCC fam? It is so weird to be doing this, not with you most of the time on Wednesday afternoons. It's like we, get the message ready and we tape it and we share it with all of you. So this is a little different.
This is great,
to be doing this this way. So we are just so happy that the technology has afforded us the ability to be able to still connect with each other, even though we aren't there. We miss you guys, but I tell you what, it has been absolutely refreshing and fun to be back with family. Today we've just seen so much family, and it's always interesting in many ways returning home. So, but we miss you guys, and we didn't want to let our time away take away from us spending time with all of you. What do you think about that, McQueen?
I think this is great. If you don't know, we're in Pennsylvania. If you don't know, that's where we're at right now. But
yeah,
it's great to be able to do both.
Yeah. If I didn't tell anybody, just so much has been going over the last couple of weeks. We are back in Pennsylvania and Ohio. That's where we're from. I'm from Ohio and lived in Pennsylvania for 20 years, and Nicole is from Pennsylvania. So we are back doing a friend's wedding in Ohio over the next 2 days, and then the rest of the time we're going to be just spending it with family. So we just want to take a little bit of time to just kind of share with you a few little things that has been on our heart. So on Sunday, we talked a little bit about one of the points in the passage in Hosea that we were reading. One of the points we kind of gave was the wilderness is the way. And I know when you hear something like that, it's probably very, very difficult to really get your mind around that and grasp it. And when we landed last night, we were driving up the highway to come to Mom and Dad's house, and we just kind of looked at each other. And when we left here 13, almost 14 years ago, we were two young people. We had a lot of things going on, and in many ways, we felt like that was a calling into the wilderness. And if you remember, one of the things we said about the wilderness is the way is that very often that is the place where God is actually able to speak to you the best. That is a time when you learn to hear his voice very, very well, because he brings you to a place or allows you to be in a place where that is all there is. So I want to just read something from Hosea, and then we're going to connect it to something that I was reading today in Isaiah. So we're going to jump in real quick, and we're going to go to Hosea. And remember, we read that long section in chapter 2, and we said it was the problem, the promise, and the pathway. So I want to read something to you. And he says in verse 14, he says, "Therefore, behold, I will allure her, bring her into the wilderness, and speak kindly to her. Then I will give her her vineyards from there." Remember, the children of Israel were going after these other gods because they believed that these other gods could satisfy things in a way that Yahweh couldn't, but it was ultimately God who was making it possible for them to flourish and be successful. And he says, I'm going to give her vineyards from there. From where? The wilderness. And the valley of Achor, and we touched on it, Achor literally means trouble. So he says, and the valley of trouble, or Achor, as a door of hope. And we read a passage of scripture like that, and again, the imagery is so extreme, and it's hard for us to sometimes get our minds wrapped around the fact that we need to sometimes be in those, I don't want to say bad places, but I want to say quiet places, and places where it seems like nothing is fitting, nothing is lining up, but those are the very places where all of the blessing will stem from. And before I jump into Isaiah, I want to ask the Queen if she has anything to add about that.
Yeah, actually, I was just thinking, our mindset can set us up for our next experience, or our next experience. And if we set our decision ahead of time, before, I always say that sometimes decisions need to be made before they need to be made. So if we have the mindset just that we carry around with us, that God is who he says that he is, and that he is good all the time regardless of our circumstances, like this is saying, even if you're in the wilderness, if our mindset is right, that something beautiful can come out of this, and that we know that God is saying, I'm paying attention to you in that time space, then it sets us up to be successful in that. Whereas if our mindset is that we've been forgotten, we start lying to ourselves about the truth, and we don't set ourselves up in a good place to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, remember when we went through this section, they had come out of chapter 1 with this promise of hope, and then basically God, through the prophet Hosea, outlines what the problem is, between them and him, really. He lays out what the problem is, and he was pretty in very explicit language telling them, this is what is going to befall you if you continue to chase after other gods instead of seeing me truly as the one all of your love and devotion should be for. And so then we get into this way back. He says, here is a pathway to redemption. And right in the middle of that, we get this beautiful imagery. He says, I will allure her, not like harshly. He says, hey, I'm going to call her into the wilderness. And remember, he was using the imagery from a Hosea's message. He was talking about his wife, because Gomer was wandering off with other lovers, and this is what the nation of Israel was doing. So he's calling her back. He says, I'm going to lure her out to the wilderness, and I'm going to speak tenderly to her. And then what should have been trouble, this doorway of trouble, it's going to be the gateway of hope. And I just want to tie that to something I was reading in Isaiah this morning. And it's Isaiah, the 43rd chapter, verse 19. And it's this. He says, behold, I will do something new. Now it will spring forth. Will you not be aware of it? I will even make a roadway in the wilderness, rivers in the desert. And right there, tying what he says in Isaiah to what's going on in Hosea, it's interesting. Both prophets, both have this imagery. And here's what we want to encourage you with today, because I think coming home in many ways it has been a revelation for us that when we left 14 years ago, it was wilderness. We moved from here. We left a lot of the things that we knew, a lot of the things that we were familiar with, and we went someplace completely unfamiliar, and coincidentally, just kind of where we are, the high desert, right? God was able to speak to us in a way that brought maturity and a lot of blessing that could not have happened had we stayed in the place of comfort or in the place of familiarity. So if you're there today, if you're in this place, my little nephew is at the door. It's amazing just seeing all the family. We're just overwhelmed with all the family. It's just awesome. If you're in a place today where you feel like, wow, I'm in a dry place, I'm in the wilderness, I would like to encourage you and say, that's not always a terrible place to be, because sometimes the wilderness is the way. And that's a place where God can do some of his most amazing work. The wilderness, we said it on Sunday, is really about development. If you find yourself there, I would say, while it may be tough, listen, because God is trying to say something to you. He is trying to bring something to you that will not only encourage you, but will be a blessing to you and benefit for you as he prepares you to move into the next season, because the wilderness is not the end point. There's a doorway there waiting, and God's doing the work. He's doing a new thing. So if you find yourself in the wilderness, it's because God is possibly doing a new thing. Anything before we go?
Well, I love the picture of a roadway in the wilderness and a river in the desert, because there's not supposed to be a roadway in the wilderness, and there's not supposed to be life-giving water in the desert. There's not supposed to be. So when it looks like everything around us is not, like, there's not a way. There's not a way. God goes, I don't need there to look like there is a way. I don't need there to be supposed to be a way. I will change landscapes and environments. I will figure it out for you. And that gets me excited.
That's something to be excited about. Guys, thank you for spending some time with us this afternoon. We love you and miss you. You guys are in good hands, though. Pastor Curtis is going to be with you guys on Sunday. He's going to be continuing our study of Hosea, so you don't want to miss that one. Make sure that you're there. Show him the love and support. And you know, the whole team is there. You know, Pastor Mike is there, Pastor Matt, Miss Tara, Miss Arlene. The crew is there. Our amazing worship team is there. So we really, really love you guys and miss you. And thanks for blessing us with being able to get away and be away and get back home and visit with all of the people that we love and have missed so much as well. And we will see you guys not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. So we will be back with you guys on the 30th. So we hope you have a blessed rest of the day and week, and we will see you next week. We love you. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.